Yes, I love it. Happy New Year. If you're just joining us, welcome. Blessed 2026 to each and every single one of you. For those tuning in and joining us on Facebook, welcome. For
Yes, I
those
love it. Happy New Year. If you're
tuning
just joining
in
us,
and joining us on YouTube, welcome to the call. Welcome to the call. Let's get this party started. Yes, yes, yes. Absolutely, absolutely. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Let me make sure I record. All right, all right. Well, happy Thursday. Happy Thursday, everyone. Welcome to our Breakfast Club call. As always, it is my absolute honor, pleasure, and privilege to be here with you. If you're joining us for the first time, welcome. If you're joining us once again, welcome home. I remember when I first embarked upon entrepreneurship 12 years ago, I was looking forward to these type of morning mentorship calls, not only for the information I was going to receive, but for the inspiration I was going to receive. How you start your day sets the tone for your day. Garbage in is garbage out. Greatness in is greatness out. So kudos to each and every single one of you guys that decided to start your morning off with some fire this morning, with some positivity. Yes, 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 yes. So if you joined us last week, we have been talking about different things from reflection to rebranding to resetting. And today, what I wanted to talk to you guys about is decision season. Why clarity without commitment keeps you stuck. And if you're just joining us, make sure really quick, subscribe to the channel, right? Follow us on YouTube, Chosen Global. This is not only something that you can tune into live, you can watch the replay. Make sure you're following us on YouTube, on the Pam the Plug channel as well. And our Breakfast Club call is brought to you guys by Chosen Global, where we not only are amplifying voices, but showcasing powerful stories. And each and every single week, we just love being able to serve and help you along the journey because we are not meant to do it alone. So let's get right into it. Now, when we're talking about the last few weeks, right, we have been talking about alignments. We have been talking about identity. We have been talking about vision, about execution. We have been talking about reflection, rebranding, and reset. But none of that, absolutely none of it works if you do not make a decision. You do not make a decision. Now, why do I say that? Because when you make a decision, what it does is it signals a few things. It signals continuity, it signals leadership, and it signals intentionality in every aspect of your life. So when I talk to you about, why this is a decision window, not just another week, there's a few reasons. Number one, there are moments in your life when delay can cost more than action. There's moments in your life when delay can cost more than action, and you're like, "Well, Pam, well, what does that mean?" Well, there have been moments in my life where I have delayed, whether it has been me delaying things of not only showing up, right? Not only showing up for my business, but showing up for myself. And why do I say that? Because there's a moment in time where I think about, I have been in accountability with a life coach, with a mentor, with a physical trainer, personal training for 5 years now, going on 6 years. And I think of, man, imagine if my decision to not only get a personal trainer or get a life coach or get a therapist, if I would have made these decisions a lot longer ago, I would have been a lot further along. However, I don't beat myself up. Why? Because I understand that there's a season and a reason for everything, right? And that everything happens in God's perfect timing. But I think about stuff like that. I also think of moments in my own consulting business when my energy was just spread everywhere, right? It was just spread everywhere. I was trying to build 20 different businesses at the same time. And I think of, man, if I would have just focused in on what this was, if I wouldn't have delayed just me locking in and making sure that I am scaling just one main thing, right? So when I talk about, last year was a year of alignment and 2026 is just a year of execution in every aspect of my life. And there are moments in life when delay can cost you more than action. So I said, you know what? There's the little things that I've seen that I cannot delay. And a lot of times, some people may say, well, I beg to differ because I took action in this and it didn't turn out that way that I expected. Well, the delay is worse because at least you took action and you failed forward. Why? Because in life, you never lose. Why? We either win or we learn. You never lose. So I believe that there are moments in your life where delay can cost more than action. It is important for you to say, for you to ask yourself, well, what are the things that I'm delaying in right now? Am I delaying some things in my faith that I need to strengthen? What am I doing right now in my spirituality? Right? I was talking to one of my clients earlier this week, and we were talking about, building her brand and optimizing her brand for success, and talking about just different monetization techniques. And I said, you know what? You need things like a media kit. You need to, all of this work that people can see on social media and all of these accolades and all of these things, you need to be able to put it on paper. And again, if the fastest that she was able to do that, now she's getting booked for higher paying things. But again, there are moments in life where delay can cost more than action. So take some time to analyze, where is that in my life that I am delaying? Where is it in my life that I am not acting upon what I need to act? And here's why most people don't act. It's because most people feel clarity but don't act on it. So if they may feel like, oh, I have clarity in this aspect, but I'm not going to actually take the action in it. It can be in your business, it can be in your health, it can be in your life, and all of these things. And fear is really what holds people back from taking the action that is necessary. Because if we really think about it, right? Like just you and I chatting, and you think of it, you're like, man, if I knew I couldn't fail, what wouldn't I do? What wouldn't I do? Whether you're building your business, whether you're building your community, whether you're building your brand, whether you're building a network marketing business, whether you're building a traditional business, whether you're building a digital business, it doesn't matter. If you knew you could not fail, what wouldn't you do? You would pick up the phone, you would make the phone call, you would send out the messages, you would put the post up, right? You would do all of the things. But again, most people feel clarity, but they just don't act upon it. And here's another thing, right? Because a lot of people, we're in this new year and I love it. And if I did not see you yet and I've not told you Happy New Year, Happy New Year. January doesn't magically change behavior. Decisions do. I remember one of my millionaire mentors, he's a best-selling author, Matt Morris, once told me, you know, when you decide, you kill off all other options. So, what are you going to decide to do today that is going to get you closer to the life that it is that you want to do? So, if we know that January doesn't magically change behavior, decisions do. A lot of times when you make a decision, you're like, well, I have to follow through on what it is that I said I was going to do because I decided. And when you make a decision, it's not to say that the plan is going to say the absolute same, because that's not accurate, right? But it is to say that even if the plans change, the decisions do not. Absolutely. So if you are at a place that you're like, well, I understand that I have to make certain decisions in my life, whether it's in my faith, in my fitness, in my family, in my fortune, in my fun, in whatever aspect it is, then the time is now. So the window between clarity and action is where momentum dies. And you're like, wait, not where momentum lies? No, no, no. The window between clarity and action is where momentum dies, because a lot of times people are clear on something and they're about to take action, but then the momentum dies in between that. They for whatever reason, the fear holds them back, the indecision kicks in, the little voice of whatever has been holding you back has just continuously does so, right? So it's important that you not only make a decision, but you take action immediately, that you are intentional and that you make a commitment to that decision, that you make a commitment to not only the goals that you have, but the person that it is that you are becoming, the person that it is that you want to become, the vision that it is that you have to your life. Why? Because clarity without commitment creates frustration. So then you're wondering why the needle's not moving here. You're wondering why you're feeling frustrated. It's because you have clarity, but you didn't commit all the way through. So when you have clarity on what it is that you want to do and you already made that decision, say, hey, you know what? Now is the time for me to do this, and I am actually going to commit to what this looks like. I'm actually going to commit to what it is that I want. I'm actually going to commit to the goals. I'm actually going to commit to the lifestyle. I'm actually going to commit to all of the things, because the reality is intentional people move faster and further. Let me explain. Intentionality isn't intensity, is not intensity. It's precision. Intentionality is not intensity, it is precision. Why? Because a lot of times you can be intentional about things, but that doesn't mean that you have to be doing it at a million miles per hour. I know plenty of people, shout out to my girl Lisa that's on here, right? Lisa is a prime example of that. You talk to Lisa and she is passionate about what she's passionate about, but she's precise in how she moves. It doesn't that's and you talk to Lisa and there's no intensity about her. She can be excited about what she's talking about. And I've seen Lisa, whether she is talking about X, Y, or Z, it can be something that's up here that got her all the way excited. It can be something that has her a little bit annoyed, right? And she's just at an equilibrium that is just easy peasy, right? Because she's precise about not only what it is that she's doing, and she's intentional about where it is that she's going, but she's intentional also on the person that she is becoming and her emotional triad. She's also intentional about how people perceive her. She's also intentional about how it is that she is moving when it comes to every aspect of her life. But I guess that's also what happens when you're happily retired, right, Lisa? But there is a difference between being busy and effective. Now, let me back up. Intentional people don't do more, they do less better. If there's anything that I learned in 2025 was doing less better. Doing less better. Why? Because I read a book that completely changed everything for me, right? It is called The Science of Scaling. And when I read this book, it just brought a lot of things to me full circle. And throughout the year, I was looking and I'm like talking to God, and I'm just like, man, this is going great and this is going great, but I really want this to do better. And but I keep putting all the attention in this, and I want this, and I want all, I want. And God is like, well, that's not where I told you that I needed you to be. So what I learned was that just because I'm good at something, that doesn't mean that I should be doing it. Just because something I'm necessarily, just because I am good at it, it doesn't mean that that's where all of my focus should be. So if you are intentional, that means that you're not necessarily needing to do more. We're doing less better. And the moment that that shifted for me, everything shifted. And it was just a calm peace that just, it was incredible, because there's a difference between being busy and being effective. It's funny because one of my friends the other day messaged me and he's just like, oh, no worries. I know that you're busy. Successful people are always being busy. And I was just like, I had to correct because, it's the coach in me, right? And just who I am. And I was just like, yeah, successful people are always be busy being productive. Why? Because there's a difference between being busy and being effective. How many of us know that just because you're busy, you could be busy doing nothing? You could be busy watching Netflix all day. You could be busy playing video games all day. You can be busy absolutely doing nothing that is conducive to not only the life that it is that you want to live, but the person that it is that you want to become. So if that is the case, then it's important that you take inventory and say, hey, what are the things that I'm just being busy in? And where are the areas that I am called to be effective in, that I need to be intentional to be effective in this said area? Why? Because drifting feels comfortable, but it will cost you years. Drifting feels comfortable, but it will cost you years. I'm going to tell you, every major season of growth in my life came when I decided to stop circling the vision and step into it. A lot of times, people create these vision boards, and we're having our third annual Mastermind and Mimosas goal setting vision board brunch this Saturday. Man, it's crazy. But I tell people all the time when we're doing these, like, if you're not intentional about the life that you want to live, this will just be another piece of paper in your office. It will just be another piece of paper in your room. It will just be a screenshot that you look at in the refrigerator. But you have to visualize, but you have to take action in what it is that you are doing. You have to step into this person that it is that you want to be. You have to step into the habits that are in alignment with the person that it is that you want to become. Because let me tell you something, the cost of not deciding, whew, man, there is a cost to not deciding. There is such a big, big cost. Why? Because indecision, it can cost you not only money, but indecision will cost you time. Your time. I said this a few weeks ago on our Breakfast Club call. I could always make another buck, but I can't ever get back another hour, another minute of my time. So if you know indecision can cost you time, why are we wasting it? Indecision can also cost us energy. Indecision can also cost you confidence. Why? Because imagine you're on fire. You're like, yes, I'm going to do this. Oh my goodness, I'm going. And then you're no longer excited because the moments between the clarity and the action is where momentum dies. You got to just step right into it. You got to go all in. So it will kill the confidence and, like, yeah, I love to say, your confidence of why you're doing it in the first place, of why were you excited in the first place. And the cost of not deciding is even more grand because it will cost you things like self-trust. That's a big one. This is why so many people repeat years and not seasons. So many people will repeat the same year over and over and over and over and over and over again because fear disguises itself as, I need more time. If I just had the perfect timing. A lot of y'all, thank you, by the way, to each and every single one of you guys that have sent me so much love regarding the podcast. We are almost done with season 1, which is absolutely incredible. I'm just so grateful to God for everything that he's doing. But it's funny because, this has been on my heart for years. And if you've been a part of our Breakfast Club community, you know that this is going on a decade. We started this meeting in person. Then we were on conference calls, 1-800 conference call. Then we transitioned to Zoom during the pandemic. But it was crazy because when I see the growth, right? And even myself, I was like, no, but this has to be perfect. And you want to have this in alignment, and you need to have this piece here. And all of the pieces to the puzzle needs to be perfect. And just when I thought it was going to be absolutely perfect, my editor, right, has a family emergency. I was days before launching. And I was in the Dominican Republic living my best life for my birthday. So I'm like ready to go, right? I'm just thinking I'm just gonna press upload and everything's good because I finally got all of the pieces to the puzzle where I needed it to be. And guess what? I had to keep moving because he had a family emergency. I had to respect that, but I also understood that plans change, decisions don't. I made a decision that I was launching my podcast on my birthday month, so it was going to be done. So I quickly did what I needed to do to make sure that it happened. So why am I sharing that with you? Because I didn't need more time. I just needed to take action. And I'm so glad that I did because my podcast ended the year with crazy stats, right? I just got all this award from Buzzsprout, all of these things because of the amount of viewers that it had in less than 2 months. We already got the YouTube monetized. Like, it is crazy how things can move, how fast when you decide to take action. So I encourage you to kick the fear out the window because fear means nothing more than false evidence appearing real and take action. You do not need more time because I'm going to tell you, not deciding is still a decision. It just keeps you where you are. And if you didn't hear that, I'm going to say it again. Not deciding is still a decision. It just keeps you where you are. Here's why it's important that you're in the right environment, that you're around the right people, that you're surrounded with the right community. Rooms, environments, and proximity matter. Rooms, environments, and proximity matter, right? We have one of the first community event that's taking place for our travel and lifestyle community taking place next weekend in Arizona, right? All roads are leading to Arizona. The right rooms matter. The right environments matter. A bunch of my friends and I are also going to Podfest coming up, right? We also have this weekend of our Mastermind and Mimosa, our third annual one. All of these rooms, environments, proximities matter because breakthroughs don't usually happen alone. I'll tell you, it's interesting too. Whenever you feel a call within you in your heart, and when you are centered, God will always tell you like when you need to shift your room, when you need to shift the environment. Yesterday, I always get like this. And if you know, you know, and I don't even know why I get like this because I know God always works it out. But, it's just me because I have a spirit of excellence and I always want things to be done at a world-class level. And I'm like 72 hours yesterday from our event. So I'm like, and one of my friends, him and his wife pastor Crossover Church here in Tampa. A shout out to Pastor Tommy and Pastor Lucy. They just made 30 years pastoring their church. Shout out to them. I absolutely love them. And they were having a worship night yesterday because they do something called First Wednesdays every Wednesday. So I quickly blocked out my evening. I told my brother, I was like, hey, do you want to go to church with me? Because I understood that I needed to change in the environment that I was in. I needed to be around people that were on fire for God. I needed to be around people that knew exactly. I needed to just be in a position of worship. Now, don't get me wrong. You can create your altar in your home. You can worship in your home. You can bring heaven down where you are. However, I knew that I needed to get out of the room because breakthroughs don't usually happen alone. And the environment either stretches you or soothes you. I didn't want to be in an environment where I was just being soothed. I needed to be stretched, right? I love participating in worship. I love to see how other churches worship because that is how you worship and honor God as well, right? We are made to worship. However, I also knew that I didn't want to be somewhere that I was just going to be soothed. I didn't want somebody to just tell me, like, don't worry, everything is gonna. No, I wanted to be stretched. So I said, let me go take myself somewhere else. That happens all of the time to me. Now, anytime that I'm like, I need to get stretched in this, I need to get stretched in that. I just got started again, and I'm going to be going to Myron Golden's mastermind starting next week again, right? Because I want to be in rooms that stretch me. I could care less about certain people's opinions. I could care less about what he's doing, what she's doing. I want to know what Pam is doing. I want to make sure that whatever Pam is doing is she's operating in her assignment, that she is in alignment, because the reality is that you need to be in a place of not only that you're in the right room, but you have to also understand that if the environment is just soothing you, because I don't need nobody to just give me a pat in the back and just be like, oh, no, I want to be stretched. This is a growing season. So ask yourself, are the rooms, environments that you're in, is it stretching you or is it just soothing you? Proximity creates belief before results show up. Whew, that is a word. And it's so true. Proximity creates belief before the results show up. You hear me say all the time, proximity equals power, all of these things. Why? Because sometimes the decision isn't about knowing more, it's about putting yourself where growth is unavoidable. It's not about doing or knowing more, it's about just putting yourself where you are going to grow, whether you like it or not. And that is why it is so important for you to be in the right rooms, for you to be around the right people, for you to be in the right environment, because there is an actual distance from vision to execution. And that is what actually changes people's lives. Why? Because vision without structure leads to burnout. And execution actually needs clarity, accountability, and community. Let's break this down a little bit though. Why does vision without structure lead to burnout? Because if you are just busy and you're not busy being intentional about how you are being productive, you will get burned out. You're going to keep going, 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 going like the Energizer Bunny. And you're going to look up and your mental health is going to be suffering, right? All of these things. And you're asking yourself and you're like, well, why is that happening? Well, it's happening because you're not putting yourself first. It's happening because you are burning yourself out. So if you're asking yourself, well, how it is can I actually change that? It is by you actually having a plan to execute. Because for you to actually take it from vision to execution, you need three things. Three things. And if you're taking notes, because note takers are history makers, right? You need three things. You need clarity, you need accountability, and you need community. Writing it down is one thing, speaking it out is another, and committing publicly, it works. So if you're like, well, what do you mean, Pam? Well, yes, write it down. Write it down. Write down the goal. Name it, right? Put the vision on paper. Speak it out loud. But now commit to it publicly. Why? Because now you're going to be held accountable. Now there's people that are going to be watching. Now there's people that are going to be glued in. There's so many eyes on me. There's so many eyes. There's people watching you that you have no idea they're even watching you. You inspire people that don't even hit a like. You inspire people that you don't even know. By the way, thank you to the people that I'm inspiring, right? That don't even give a compliment, that don't even like a post. I see you lurking. It's okay. I haven't even got started yet. This is like the preview to what's about to happen. And I'm certain about that. Why? Because I am clear and I have accountability and I have community. So those three things will allow you to execute in this year. You need to have clarity of intention. You need to have clarity of your goals. You need to have clarity of your vision. You need to have clarity of your North Star, of the person that you're becoming, of the vision that you have for your life, of the vision that you have for your legacy, of the vision. You need to be clear on what your purpose is. You need to be clear on your identity. You need to be clear on what it is that you want. You need to be clear on how you're going to leave a contribution to humanity that is going to outlive you. You need to be clear. And if you don't got accountability, what does it matter? What are you doing when nobody's watching? I love having accountability because I know I got to be on it 24/7. And some people are like, well, successful people, disciplined people, we don't need accountability. That's fine. I get it, but I understand that accountability is powerful. I understand that commitment lasts longer in community. So not only do I have accountability, but I also have community. Why? Because the community is not only because it's holding you accountable, but it's stretching you. It's also making you better. It's also you guys have goals as a community of the lives that you want to impact, of the lives that you want to transform. It was so cool today. In the morning, we are in 21 days of prayer and fasting with Radiant Church. And if you don't know, right, I am super active in my church. I have been in kids ministry for over 20 years, and I am actually one of the coaches for our Club 456, which is fourth, fifth, and sixth graders. But neither here nor there. It's interesting because we started gratitude journaling with the kids. And y'all know I'm big on journaling. If you don't know, watch the episode where I showed y'all over a dozen different type of journals that I've had over the years, from personal development to gratitude journaling to writing down prayers, so all of these things. But my point of this is, you know, a whole bunch of the coaches and leaders were all on this prayer call this morning at 6 a.m. So during 21 days of prayer and fasting, we have a 6 a.m. prayer call every day. So I'm on this prayer call today, and I'm like, man, this is so good. And we're like all praying. And one of the things that we actually prayed for was that we're actually closing on a property today for our South Tampa location. So we are all praying that it is going to be a smooth closing, right? And we're talking about this is a multi-million-dollar project. And by the grace of God, we are doing it completely debt-free. Why? Because even the pastors of the church are held accountable. Even they know community matters. They have been clear on what it is that they want to do. They have been clear. When we had a vision, when we had vision night for leaders a few months ago, it was last year, it was very clear, not only on the vision for 2025, not only on the vision for 2026, we had the next 5 years mapped out. And that is something publicly that we share. Why? Because there's execution that needs to be done. So not only do we need to be clear, we have to have clarity, but we need to have accountability, and we need to have the community rallying with us, rallying behind us. There's power of just intentionality and community. So write it down, speak it out, and commit to it publicly, because it definitely works. And there's power of just ritual, reflection, and reset. And this is why goal setting isn't just a worksheet. It isn't just a phone call. It isn't just, a team call and everybody write down a worksheet and all of these things. And don't get me wrong, if that's what you like, that's cool. But your results will tell me everything that I need to know about the way that you set goals. This goal setting is an experience. It's not just a worksheet. Goal setting is being intentional. Goal setting is being committed to your commitment. And this is why it's alignment when we're talking about our third annual mastermind and mimosas taking place this week. Because yes, it has expanded. Yes, now we're not only going to be talking about goal setting and vision board, we're going to have a peak performance panel by the top people that have built multi-million-dollar businesses talking about peak performance habits. We're also going to have financial literacy and wealth building strategies by wealth building experts. So this event exists because people not only need community, but they need to be able to execute. They need to be able to have tools. They need to be able to say their goals out loud. They also need to know that there's people that look like them winning, not only on social media, but in real life. So it's important for you to get in the room around people that are not only clear, but that they're also going to hold you accountable. And this is why commitment always lasts longer in community. This event is not only an event for people to have fun. Yes, we're going to have fun. We're going to do vision boards, and we're also going to incorporate a prayer board this year. So if you want to do a prayer board or a vision board or both, whichever you decide, which one you want to do, right? But this is something that it is to not only set the tone for your year, but it is something to realign yourself with the intentionality that is necessary for you to execute in 2026 and beyond. So if you are the person that's like, man, I've just been resting on my laurels, I have just been, it is what it is kind of deal. I've kind of just been going with the flow. No, get in the room. This is important that you get in the room because this is for the people that not only want to go into 2026 with clarity and with intention, but that want to execute in 2026 and beyond, that are sick and tired of being sick and tired. And maybe you're the person that's like, listen, I did very well in 2025. I did great. I am reaching my goals. I'm traveling the world. I'm having fun. I'm doing all of the things, but I know that there's another level. I know that there's another level, and I want to be in a room that stretches me and that does not soothe me. So, how can I get in that room? That's for those people as well. What it's not, let me tell you who this is not for. This is not for people that just want to be S. This is not for people that just want to party. This is not for people that just want to go and say, oh, I just want to do that. No, no, no. This is for people that want to execute. This is not for people that just want to have fun. Now, if you're only coming there to have fun, I'm sorry, right? This is not the room. Now, if you want to have fun and you want to learn and you want to grow, then yes, come through, right? Come through. There's going to be an amazing people. The first hour is going to be a power hour of VIP, of networking, of brunch as well. It's going to be incredible, right? But what happens when people actually pause and plan intentionally is execution. It's collaborations. It is community matters. It is you scaling together, you impacting and transforming people's lives together. So it's important that you not only position yourself, but position your family, position your legacy for all of the greatness that it is to come. So get in the room. Now, we, of course, have the 5S framework, right? This is something that if you're new, brand new here, we're going to be intentional about our faith, about our family, about our fitness, our fortune, our fun. And I like to say your faith and your fitness, and then your family and your fortune and your fun. And sometimes in those 5 F's, right? If you're climbing, you're like, wait, Pam, but I thought there was 7 F's. I include, right, your feelings, because your mental health matters. You have to prioritize those things. I also include your fame. Why? Because what it is that you want to be known for. Fortune is not only business, fortune is not only money, right? But your fame is also your legacy. So what it is that looks like for you, and being intentional to execute this year. So getting in the room is of the essence. The vision board or prayer board, it's an act of decision, right? This is not just something that it's like, oh, this is cute. No, 99% of the things that have been on my vision board, I have executed on. 99%. 99% of it. So when we talk about this is something that it's sacred to me, because if you've been resonating with these conversations, this room is the next step. If you have been at the place that you're like, well, me too, I need to get in the room. Well, I want to be at a place of my life where I'm not stuck in the same space, then you need to get in the room. If you're the person that's like, well, I've already been growing, but I also know that there's just another level. I also know that there's just a next level. I know that you always give value, but the one goal for me always, whether you are hearing me speak, whether you are hearing me at live, it's always to leave you better than how you came in. And that is my absolute promise. I know anybody that comes into that room will for sure leave better than how they came in. And we're going to close with this. Clarity brought you here. Commitment is what takes you forward. The future does not reward intention. It rewards decision. It rewards execution. And with that, breakfast has been served. As always, it is my honor, pleasure, and privilege to serve you guys. Great day, and I'll see you guys Saturday. Blessings.